Hey, everybody. Welcome to Trailblazer Tuesday. Sorry for missing last week. We were coming off a long weekend in Canada and I didn't make it. I apologize. But this week, I wanted to kick it off with a bit of a story. I was talking to one of our clients last week. We were at the tail end of an assessment to dial in their project management platform. And this was the president of mid-sized contractor, specialty contractor. And in his tagline, it said technology driven. And so I asked him, I said, for you to put that in your signature line, it's obviously important to you. Tell me, what do you mean by technology driven? And he said, well, Chris, we've implemented these technologies. I licensed Procore back in 2016. We've done this, we've done that. And I said, wow, that's a lot. Yeah, I can see technology driven. How do you manage all that? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, how do you get users set up? How do you get it configured? How do you make it work for your company? We're helping you with that piece of it, but how do you, who's doing the work to manage and administer this environment? And he said, well, I am. I said, you? I said, that's a lot. That's the president of the company managing his technology. He said, well, we have an IT outsourced operation, but really they just set up laptops and passwords and that type of stuff. And I said, so they're not doing the strategic piece, just the keep the lights on part? And I said, yeah, I guess so. And I thought that was interesting. We've talked a lot in the past about the technology, construction technology headwinds, what's holding organizations back. And it's a special industry, construction is. There's a lot of things that contribute to a slowed adoption of technology and digitization. Risk adverse, low profit margins, resistance to change. But one of the elements is having the right team, right? Having the team that can do technology, so to speak. And so what organizations tend to do, what construction companies tend to do, is they get folks from operations to do it part-time, right? Do it as their secondary or tertiary job, like the president of this company. Or they might have somebody that is their IT team, maybe an IT team of one, but they might put it on the list of that overstretched IT team. And oftentimes, this may not be your typical IT professional, but somebody who's had a penchant for technology that maybe came out of design, came out of some area that just basically became the tech person. And so it goes on that list of overstretched IT person. We've seen some companies that go out and they say, okay, we're going to really lean into it. And they go out and they get one of the big box consulting organizations, right? The big four, and they come with a big price tag. And so lots of activity, lots of moving parts, lots of money. Or there's the outsourced IT boutiques, right? That don't tend to be focused on construction. They're more, generalist, laptops, passwords, security, administration, etc. Or some organizations set out to say, we're going to hire and build our own team when we get around to it. And can we identify the right people that want to come into construction to do this stuff? So, we can have the best vision in place to move the company forward to be technology driven. But if you don't have the team to get you there, are you shortchanging yourself? And in fact, the data backs this up. Some numbers from, just pull this up, some numbers from Gartner in 2020, across all industries, spend on technology, whether it's people, software, what have you, on average is 3.8% of revenue. In construction, it's less than 1%, right? So we don't spend money on technology to move it forward. So is this we need to spend more money? No, it's not we need to spend more money. It's to rethink how we're approaching it. And in the last few weeks, I've been talking about a focus on business outcomes versus technology outcomes. And I think the idea here is to have a team in place that understands business outcomes, right? That understands that technology and harnessing data is actually a means to an end, and the real objective here is to improve the business. And so, I've used at times in the past the history of Everest, right? So, the first person to summit Mount Everest was Sir Edmund Hillary, but he wasn't alone, right? He had Tenzing Norgay, who was a Sherpa from Nepal, and it was because of Norgay that they were able to, leaning on his expertise, his understanding of the mountain, the risks, just what it was going to take to get to the top, that Sir Edmund Hillary got all the credit. And so, what is the role of Sherpas in reaching that objective? First off, guides and porters, right? They carry a lot of the load. And as you think about this in terms of your technology investments, you can think of who's carrying the load, who has the ability to understand the work and do the work. Route setting, right? How do you get from where you are to where you want to be? If it's Everest, it's fixing ropes and ladders and navigating dangerous sections of the climb. What are the dangerous sections in your technology investments, right? In setting out to create new outcomes. And then safety and support, right? So monitoring conditions, being agile to changing understanding, having the flexibility to understand the path and know when to navigate and to work through different pathways. So, from that list of ways that organizations are trying to build a team that can harness data through technology, the one that we haven't really thought about is, and the one, frankly, that ADO is really building an organization to address, is the idea of having specialists that understand harnessing data, that understand that it's a means to an end of getting to an objective. And, I'll follow up with another story. Another client we've been working with for a year and a half, iterative business improvement efforts over time, setting targets, assessing against the target, adjusting along the way, moving, in a month-to-month collaborative effort. And I was on a call with him to see how it was going. And he said, Chris, at some point, we're going to want to lean into, hiring, right? And I just can't decide whether I want to hire a business analyst first or a data engineer. And I said, what are you even talking about? You have both of those right now when you need them at a better price point. And you have complete control. You can fire us, with your wallet at any point you want. Why would you go and shortchange yourself when you have everything you need to drive to success? And he said, well, I guess that does make sense now that you pointed out. So, it's there is the opportunity for organizations that frame this up correctly, that start to think through what are the business improvements that we're striving for in investing in technology, in harnessing data. And as you do that, think about the team that can get you there, the Sherpas that can chart the path and execute against that plan. And we hope you give us a call in that exploration. Until next week, thank you.